Hello everyone. In this session, let us see what is meant by arc voltage and what are the factors which influence the formation of arc. So, when the contacts of the circuit breaker gets separated, we have learned that an arc is formed across it, and that is nothing but the fault current which is flowing. If we want to interrupt the fault current, nothing but we have to quench the arc. So to quench the arc, we have a suitable medium, that is air, oil, vacuum, SF6, so on. So the voltage which is across the arc, or the voltage drop across the arc, you call it as arc voltage. Okay, this is the arc voltage, is nothing but the voltage drop across the arc. And the fault current or the short circuit current, if you see, it is in phase with the arc voltage. That means to say the path is purely resistive. The path is purely resistive. That is, the area between the contacts is purely resistive. Okay, so you can see that the arc voltage is in phase with the short circuit current, and the magnitude of the arc voltage will be very low. So typically around 3% of the rated voltage. Now let us see what are the factors which influence the formation of an arc. So when the contacts get separated, I have said that the arc is formed. How actually the arc is formed? So when the contacts start to separate on occurrence of a fault, the contact area will decrease. Okay, the contact area will decrease and the large fault current will flow. So when large fault current flows, what will happen? Temperature will increase. So when the temperature across the contacts, say this is the fixed contact and you have the moving contact, okay, these are separated. So when the temperature on separation, what will happen? The contact area will decrease and the temperature will increase. So when the temperature is increased, the region around this, that is fixed contact and the moving contact, it will get ionized. Okay, it will get ionized. Whatever medium is present there, that particular area get ionized, and that ionized particle will form an arc. Okay, the ionized particle will be charged, right? So that leads to the formation of an arc. So the potential difference between these two contacts, that is fixed contacts and the moving contacts, is very small. So that is just sufficient enough to maintain the arc. So if you want to interrupt the fault current, then nothing but you have to quench the arc. So during the arcing period, the current which is flowing between the contacts depends upon the arc resistance. Okay, if the greater the arc resistance, the smaller the current will be flowing. That is what we have already discussed. That is, if we want to quench the arc, either we have to make a current zero or we have to increase the resistance. So the arc resistance mainly depends on three factors. Okay, the arc resistance, it depends on three factors, that is degree of ionization, length of the arc and area of the arc. So first, coming to the degree of ionization. Degree of ionization. So the arc resistance will increase with decrease in the number of ionized particles. If ionized particles are more, that means large fault current, right? So if ionized particles are less, that means less current and high resistance. So when the arc resistance will be high, fault current fault current will be low when ionized particles are less. Ionized particles are less. Okay. Then what about the length of the arc? You know, the resistance and the length are directly proportional. So the arc resistance will increase with the length of the arc and the area. So the area and the resistance are inversely proportional. So when the arc resistance will increase, if the arc resistance has to increase, then the area has to decrease. So the arc resistance increases with decrease in the area of cross section of the arc. So next is initiation of an arc. So I have told you now that when the contacts get separated, an arc is struck between the contacts of the circuit breaker due to ionized particles. How actually the particles get ionized? So what are the particles which are present between the contacts of the circuit breaker? So when the arc which is present across the contacts of the circuit breaker is nothing but a type of electrical discharge. Okay. So when the contacts get to separate, I have told you the contact area decreases. So you have a voltage which is developed across the, or you have a voltage drop across the breaker contacts. So what happens is you have a very high potential gradient or a voltage gradient which is present across the contacts of the breaker. So when this voltage gradient becomes very high, okay, the electrons which are present on the contact surface, they are dragged. So that causes ionization of the particles which is present between the contacts. So the emission of the electrons, so you may have the electrodes, the fixed contacts and moving contacts are nothing but they have the electrodes. So those electrodes, one is anode and the other one is cathode. So the ionized particles which is there between the contacts, it is nothing but the emission of the electrons, okay, from the cathode and moving towards the anode. So this movement of electrons which is liberated from the cathode and moving towards the anode, they will collide with the atoms and molecules of the gases or the vapor which is present between the contacts, and that causes the formation of the arc, nothing but the electrical discharge. So the emission of the electrons, because of this particular high value of voltage gradient, you call it as field emission, nothing but field emission. So overall is nothing but when the contacts get separated, the electrons gets liberated from the cathode and move towards the anode. So when they are moving towards the anode, the medium which is present between the contacts, they get charged. That is nothing but the arc formation. So obviously what will happen when the charges are getting, when the path is getting ionized, temperature is more, right? So the temperature becomes more and more, the electron liberation also becomes more and more. So the liberation of these electrons due to high temperature, you call it as thermal emission. So both thermal emission and field emission will cause an arc formation. So the electrons will be liberated from the cathode moving towards the anode, the region or the area around it gets ionized, that leads to the formation of an arc. So there are few factors which will lead to maintenance of the arc. That means the arc will be maintained, it will not be interrupted. So what are the reasons for it? So one is the high temperature of the medium, nothing but the temperature which is around the contacts of the circuit breaker. So when does the high temperature come? That is due to high current density. So what will happen due to high current density? The kinetic energy which is gained by the moving electrons will be increased. So when the kinetic energy of the moving electrons is increased, that is due to the potential difference or the voltage gradient which is across the contacts of the circuit breaker, more electrons will be liberated from the surface of the contacts. Okay, so the separation of the contacts of the circuit breaker, it will increase the length of the path, which in turn will increase the number of neutral molecules. So with the increase in the number of neutral molecules, it will decrease the density of the gas, which will increase the free path movement of the electrons. So all these factors will lead to the maintenance of the arc. So using the stable medium, by regaining the dielectric strength of the contacts, we need to quench the arc.